You know what? It's just a man in love. That's it. It's true. Men do crazy things, right? And women do crazy things when they fall in love. It's like you get your mind gets goes into hostage mode. Hey, Mike, what else did you do?
The next thing is even crazier. So we're there in Europe, right? I'm there living with her now. I'm sharing bedrooms with her. We're not alone. Her sister also lives there as well. So then when she brought me home, it's like she also had to tell her sister, hey, I met a guy on holiday and he's moving in. So then I I told her, I was like, hey, well, I have to leave soon, come with me. Let's keep going, And she's like, well, what about my work and my friends here, my life here?
Welcome to Retreat Boss, the podcast. Here is your host, Catherine Kontos.
So I want to welcome both Mike and Natalia to the Retreat Boss Podcast. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Catherine.
Catherine.
When I met you, Mike, in the pre-interview when we first started talking, what impressed me about you was how family centered you are, how deeply devoted you are to your wife, to your mom, to your family, to your children. And it was really just a breath of fresh air to see that type of devotion and love that just came through. And I want to tell you that because that's what made me so happy meeting you. Because I'm like, my goodness, I went to my husband right after. I'm like, I met the most awesome person right now. It made me so happy to see that. And so that's truly your essence. And I see Natalia, she's glowing right now as I'm saying that because it's true, right? And Natalia, I'm sure you agree, right, that he is that man.
Thank you, Catherine, so much for that. On on my end, I get to see Natalia every day, and I think in my head that she's the most patient, most loving mother because the kids and the challenges are real. And the great thing about it, not the great thing, but the truth about it is the kids aren't coming to me when they're hurt, scared, upset, something happened, they fell, or they want to go to sleep. They go to her. And so it's mommy, mommy, mommy. And she's a co-founder of Flow 60. She's helped me strategize things. We're sitting there having to figure things out, all these high level. And then suddenly kids are like constantly coming, and she has to stay patient and still take care of the work and finish the things that she needs to do. And she has so much patience and love, and it's been amazing. And just so I'm so thankful that she's the mother of my child and that she's my wife because I see this every single day. And I don't know if I will be able to have that level of patience if kids are coming to me constantly like that. And so when other women, you see them, they're so stressed and they're just, I can't handle it. I don't blame them because that's how kids are. And when I see it at home and what happens, you just have to be so centered and selfless because she's like, I see her in the middle of the night, constantly waking up, going to here, this bed, and then trying to put this kid to sleep. And then this one's asleep and the other one wakes up and then she goes to the other bed, puts him to sleep. The other one wakes up, goes to the same bed. They're clinging on both of her boobs and pulling and pulling. And then one bites. And I'm like, and then after watch the mic, can you please? I'm like, okay. And then and so it's a long way of saying that it's very, very impressive what she does. And I'm just really, really glad. And thank you for the compliment. But I think a lot of it is because I have such great support. I
But
mean,
I think what you maybe also speaking to a little bit, what came up for me when you said that is the fact that we travel together, we bring the kids everywhere, you bring the whole family to each event, to each stage you speak. And it's like, usually people just travel alone and just get these things done because it's so much easier.
not the best business model for anybody watching. It's not going to make you good profitability at all, but you may create some interesting family experiences.
I just want to I just want to stay together. We should stay together, whatever happens. And let's just do this together. That's really, yeah, that's something like he might not have the most amount of time all the time, But just the fact that we are able to do this as a family, and yeah,
Yeah,
that's actually
that is incredible because you're right. It is easier to go alone, but what happens is that wears on the family, right? The kids miss you, the wife or the husband misses you, depending on who's away all the time, and you start disconnecting. And I don't think it's such a horrible model. So what? Okay, so it tears away a little bit at your profits, and it's a little harder because you have to deal with all kinds of situations that you're not expecting, but you're a unit. You're a unit, and you stay a unit throughout the whole thing. How do you not get under each other's skin being together all the time? Is there a trick or is it just natural for you guys? Or do you like, is there boundaries that you're like, okay, I need my alone time. Give me 60 minutes. Like, what is it that you guys do to make it work?
She does let me know when it gets to that point.
yeah. In
And
the beginning, we had this dynamic where if there was a conflict, I would run away, try to get my space, and Mike would pace after me.
where are you going? Where are you going?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to talk over there? Okay, come on, let's go talk over there.
So that one, he knows now if I need to go, he just lets me go. But it also doesn't happen that often anymore that I get upset or I have to have my space, because I think what happened over the years is, or something I learned over the years, and this is also something that maybe I learned a little bit from Mike, is that we just allow each other to do whatever the other wants to do. So if he feels like he needs to work more because that's what's gonna help him feel more at peace in the evening, or then I let him work more without without complaining, or sometimes I complain. But most of the time, I just let him do whatever he thinks he needs to do. And he does the same for me. If I want to go paddle or if I want to go catch up with a friend, he never says, "Oh, you're doing that again." Or we give each other space to be the person we want to be or do what we want.
Yeah.
I
That is
think
that is key. That is key. The fact that you're together and also allowing each other to be just who you need to be and the time that you need to be that person. I think that's where a lot of people think, oh my God, they're always together or whatever. Do they have a life separate from each other? And yeah, you do. You do. And
Right.
that.
I learned something that was like really life changing. Two things that go directly together. The first one is accepting people for the way they are, accepting them, therefore just let them be themselves, accepting them. And that one was really tough because so many people. I just had a conversation yesterday with a young man, and he's in a relationship, and we were talking, and I was telling him that what really works in a relationship is just letting people be the way they are and not trying to go and help them all the time. And that's really tough for people because
for men, it's really tough for men.
maybe tough for men because we're a good man and we want to help our partners, we want to help people. And I told him the reason why you want to help your partner, your girlfriend so much is because you're constantly inside trying to help yourself. So therefore you believe that everybody needs to do it this way and that they need to work on themselves. They need to focus on personal development, all these things. When in reality, it's you that want to work on yourself. It's you that want to do personal development so much, not the other person. Which then brings me to, well, so then let them do their own thing. And when they're ready, they'll come to you, which then brings to the second thing, which is let people have their own experience of life. Really the same idea, but it's just said in a different way. Let people have their own experience. Some people's experience can be they have to fall down 7, 8 times before they get back up. They may need to make their own decisions and go down their paths. And we as the loved ones, husbands, wives, friends, if we really love somebody, we just let them go down the path that they choose. And whenever they raise their hand and go, I need some help, great. We're friends, we're loved ones, we help. When they want advice, we give the advice because we're there for them. Whenever they don't and they're just sharing, hey, I've been doing this, don't go, oh, yeah, I see. You should do that instead. They weren't even asking. And I think when people really start to consciously listen, they'll realize a lot of conversations is sharing, not asking. And that was something I had to learn, because every time when someone talks, I'm like, oh, yeah, let me hear on what I should share about my opinion about this, or what I think you should be doing, or how can we improve it? Versus many times they're not asking at all. There's no clues of it. And then when we try to share it, they're still not even caring about our opinion, because they weren't even interested. They were just simply sharing. And I think that has been such a great lesson for me personally, because I struggled most of my life with that. And since I learned that, when we communicate, when we're doing things, it's like it's not perfect. Sometimes it'll slip out. And then when I hear, when I see how she responds, it's like it's an alarm going, wait, you're doing it, stop. And it doesn't escalate into somebody feels like they're being forced, or they're not paying attention, or they don't care what I said. It doesn't escalate into that, because I catch myself, because I've practiced this for so many years now. I'm not perfect at it, but it's just entirely different. It's the relationship I have now versus before, when I used to do those things.
I was thinking too, when you were 20 years old, right? If you were 20 years old and you met each other at that time, would it have still worked out, you think? If you remember who you were at that age? Or would it have been like a train wreck?
It would have been a different relationship
Yeah,
for sure. I
yeah.
mean,
We would have had a lot of fun.
yeah,
But
a lot of fun.
yeah, we were like in a pretty similar, yeah, pretty similar.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. That would have been just
But
completely nuts.
yeah, I think the timing was right, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably would have, I don't know.
I
I think it just always happens how it has to happen. Sometimes I'm thinking about that. I feel like at some point, I think we were in Santa Barbara at the same time at some point. And sometimes I think about what would have been if we met there. And
we would have had fun, but there's no way that our relationship would be not even close to
oh
the same.
no,
We would be fighting all the time.
yeah,
It would just be, it'll be like my relationships that I had when I was 20. Constantly just fighting, arguing, and just so intense drama. Like when I argued with my girlfriend at that age, it will take about 2.5 days for any argument to be gone. Have a little conflict, and suddenly it's like you just hold a grudge, or I held a grudge for about average about 2.5 days, and that's a small one. If it's a big one, could be like a week of just don't really talk to each other. And then there's like really big ones where you have to let it go because there's nothing you can do, but it's just hold on. And then 3 months later, you say it again. That would have been like that. Our relationship would just been constantly conflict. And no, because no real love can grow in that type of when people treat each other that way. And again, it's like this is the type of stuff that they should be teaching in school. Like, why don't they teach about relationships in school? Heck, it's like people work. Yeah, you need to work, but that you need to be healthy. What about relationships? Oh, we kind of just forgot that between geometry and freaking, I don't know, history, economics. It's all of it is just built for survival, not for love, not for relationships. But yeah, we are human beings. We get together. It's just like you see it at school. There's the couples. Somehow they just kind of left that out, right?
yeah. And I think that's another point that you just, like when we hold on for things way too long, if we can learn to just not take it personally, like in first place, and then just let it go as fast as we can, and then everything changes. There's no reason to hold on to, oh, he said that, and then in your mind go about all the things that, I think that's a big one also. Just, like it takes a lot of work to first not take things personally, and then just do your best to just let it go.
Yeah.
And the relationship can continue. Like if you have to work, you can't not talk to each other for like a day.
That won't work out.
Yeah.
That really won't work out.
Yeah.
How did you meet, and how fast did you did you I'll speak to Natalia first. Did you know he was the one when you met him? Was it that instant for you?
Yeah, it was hard for me to pinpoint. So for me, I wasn't in a relationship I was 31 when I met Mike, and I wasn't in a relationship for like 8 or 9 years
Oh,
before.
wow.
So for me, it was like, maybe I don't find that one. I almost didn't believe anymore that I'm gonna find that one. Sometimes I even wonder, do people make up love? Yeah, because I couldn't really imagine after being single for so long that maybe, yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah,
So you didn't think it existed for you, or you didn't think it even existed. True love didn't exist.
I had, how do you say? I had the hope still, but there was this one thing that said like, maybe I just I just make career and don't have kids, and maybe it's
Yeah.
not for me, or maybe it's not how people are saying love is, and
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable in that construct, and maybe I'm just better alone with friends. Yeah, it's very interesting. So when I met him, I think my body knew that he's the one, because like I had this, like my chest felt like it's like so open.
Yeah.
It was like, and it didn't go away for a couple of days. It was just like an intense feeling in my chest. And
Wow.
so when I saw him, I was like, who is this man? Yeah, my body knew that
And what about you, Mike?
So it was the complete opposite as far as looking at love. I was always in relationships. I was actually in a relationship at that moment that we met, still, because love is out there. I'm going to find the perfect one and we're going to get married and live happily ever after. And I'm not going to stop until I find that one. That was the mentality. So that started at 14. And I've spent 3 months in my life dating, period. That's it. Besides that, I didn't date. There's no
Okay.
dating. I'm not interested, right?
Right.
I'm find the one, right? Not gonna waste time dating
or be
and
single.
or be single. It's like there's no point to be single. I want to have a partner. It's like it was very certain. So I never lost hope there. However, so when we met and I saw her, instantly what was for me was her eyes. When I looked into her eyes and I saw, like, I felt something so deep. I didn't know that she's going to be my wife and that we're going to have a relationship together. But what came to me was there was a feeling that was so deep, so unknown. I didn't know what this feeling was. I don't know if I'm unfamiliar. What is this feeling? Like it's not worried, it's not fear, it's not even the love that I felt throughout all of my relationships, since 14. Like, what is this feeling? And I remember coming back home, like we met at this co-working space, this co-working kind of hotel and in the community kitchen. And my girlfriend was there. I
Yeah, yeah.
was Wasn't that either? Okay. Thank you. And and I remember coming back home and when I close my eyes, I can see her eyes right there, just like piercing into my soul, looking so deep. But yeah, I didn't know what the feeling was. And then it just stayed with me. Then the next day, I think I saw her, it was the next day after, I don't remember. But every time we see each other, I had that feeling. It was so deep. And then I remember by the third or fourth day, I was at home and I was just closing my eyes and I can see her eyes and I'm sitting with the feeling. And then this event came up, an old memory when I was a child and I was watching this movie by Mel Gibson
Mhm.
called Braveheart.
Yes.
Seeing how he went back, the scene where he was a little boy and his mom died, and then the little girl gave him this flower, and then he held it and just kept it. And then afterwards, he left with his uncle, explored the world, became a man, and then came back all of these years. And at the end, after they had one night where they just kind of hung out, he gave her that flower before leaving, riding off. Basically, that flower meant I've loved you this entire time and thought about you the entire time. And I remember these scenes. And when I watched that as a kid, I used to cry. And because I felt such deep love and I wanted that. To me, that was love. And the feeling that I had when I watched that, that was the same feeling that I had when I saw Natalia. And instantly I realized this was the love that was programmed in my mind as a child. This is what love is. And the feeling that I had was that as a child. And then since then, I didn't feel that anymore throughout my life until I met her. Then that feeling came back. And that's when I knew I need to pursue this relationship, whatever happens. So there's a long version to this, but the short version is my girlfriend and I, we split up, and then 15 minutes later or so, I'm at Talia's doorstep, literally in front of her hotel, going, okay, the relationship is over, and let's start our relationship. I mean, it was that's how fast. I mean, I was
Wow.
Before we even kissed or anything,
yeah.
he was already, what are we doing about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
And
was-
we didn't even talk about, we didn't even, for one whole week, we were spending time with each other, and we didn't even talk about how we felt about each other. Nothing. You know, I felt like I'm in a relationship, so it's not right for me to go and talk about that. And I think maybe she felt that way as well, because she knew. So we're just gonna hang out, and there are other people around. So it wasn't just exclusively we're sneaking up on dates or something. It was like there are other people around. But it was so intense in the way I felt, and we didn't say anything. And also, my girlfriend started noticing how her and I would look at each other, and her and I would be fighting at home about it. And all this time, there's no conversation about it between her and I. And at the end of the week, I remember I asked her, I was like, "How was your week?" And she told me, "Terrible." And I go, "What?" And I said, "Why? What happened?" And I don't remember exactly what you said. I feel like you said, because I'm so confused because, I have all these feelings for you, and I don't know how you feel about me, or something like that. And I remember just like when I heard that, it's like all this pressure dropped, because the whole time while all this drama is happening at my house and I have all these feelings, there was this small idea that maybe it's literally all just in my head.
You don't know until you know, right?
Yeah, there's just might be a chance. And I'm just so off. I'm just in my head. Oh yeah.
Fantasizing.
Like, no, sorry.
You already know.
Yeah, because we had no talks about it. I wasn't like flirting, nothing. We're just talking like normal human beings. And so there was that. And then when she said, because I don't know how you feel about me. Oh, wow. Okay. Then I just poured it out. I said, I feel, and I
checked our horoscopes. We're a perfect match.
I was interested in horoscopes a lot before, because I was trying to do everything to find the right one. Yeah. And
you
so,
did.
we were like the perfect match, or we are the perfect match on horoscopes as well. She's a year of the rabbit. I'm the year of the dog. We get along really well. Dogs like to take care of rabbits, and I don't know in real life, but
Yeah, I was about to say in real life, I'm not sure. I'm not so sure about that in real life, but
yeah, that's not how that works. I'm a Sagittarius and she's an Aries, and that we get along really well. I knew that from personal experience, because my first, almost, or second official relationship ever was 9-year relationship with a Aries. So I knew that me and Aries get along well, 9 years. So when I found out she's an Aries, I already knew, oh, we're going to get along just fine. And then when I found out she was a rabbit, I was like, oh, wow. Well, I read horoscopes to where we get along really good as well. And so instantly I knew the stars aligned were helping on that point. But of course, there's many, many other rabbit Aries out there. So it doesn't mean it's.
And I think for me also, something that was like really new meeting Mike is the level of commitment that he has. A lot of men these days, they don't want to commit. They're like, not just men, I think everybody.
Yeah, I think it's everybody now.
Like, I don't want to commit. Like, there's so many things. Yeah, this uncommitment. And when I met Mike, well, when that day where he was on my doorstep, we went on a walk, and he was like, how do we make this happen? I was in Bali at that time, just on a vacation to write on my master thesis, and he was traveling. He didn't know where to go, kind of exploring after he sold his company. So he's like, how do we make that happen? You're going to go back to Switzerland, and I told him I go back, finish my master's, maybe I ask for a sabbatical, and then we meet again in Bali. And he was like, no, 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 no. You're not you're not
He's
gonna
like, I
go.
ain't living without you.
Yeah. I don't let you go, and then maybe you come back. And we didn't even kiss at that point.
Oh my
And
goodness.
planning out how we're gonna go and create this relationship. And
So it was a little bit scary in the beginning, but at the same time, because I had this feeling he's the right one, it was also refreshing to have, a man who really just goes for it and makes it. It's not like, yeah, that was just like such a, refreshing. It also just gave me confidence.
so then I suggested, she goes, what do you think? So she's like, well, maybe you can come around February. It was around October at the moment. And she was going back to Switzerland. And she's like, well, yeah, I was thinking January or February, you can come, and because I'll be done with my master's and then have more time. And I was like, yeah, I'm thinking next week. She's like, no, I mean, that's not possible. And it's too early. I'm like, and I go, why not? She's like, well, like I'm going to be working and busy. I go, that's fine. I'm a grown man. You don't need to watch over me. I'll be fine. I'll go do stuff. Go work, and I'll do stuff. Don't worry. She's like, okay. What are you gonna do? I was like, we got plenty of things to do. I go, don't worry about me. You just go to work. You'll be fine.
Where are you gonna stay?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay with you. Ask me, where do you? I'm gonna stay with you. And then you can see her like going, I'm like, right? I mean, okay, can we do that? I just
Okay,
stay in your.
I've got to ask Natalia, what were the girls saying when they were hearing all this? All your friends, were they like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think they were a little bit surprised. Also from me, they didn't know that. I was always kind of rational.
Right. You were 8 years not in a relationship, right? All of a sudden, you're in this whirlwind romance. You're moving in with somebody a week later. They must have, I'm hearing the chatter in the ears for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, and I also, like when I met Mike, I wasn't into spirituality, anything. I didn't even know what it means. And then I meet this guy who feels a bit like an alien to me. All these things I never heard before, but somehow it just felt, I need to be.
She even
with
told me
him.
that. She even told me, like, I feel like you're an alien.
Are
And
you
then she was
real?
pretty serious. Yeah, she was like pretty serious, waiting for me to tell me, okay, fine, actually, from around here. She's just kind of waiting.
Oh, I didn't even believe in aliens.
But you also didn't believe in a lot of this other stuff I said.
So when we went back, I went back straight to work, and he would bring me to work every day on another bicycle, on my sister's bicycle. And he would it was snowing, ice cold in Switzerland by that time. And he would wear only swim shorts and nothing else, so he could do cold therapy.
Okay.
And the people from the work where I was working at the agency at that time, they would peek out of the window every morning to see us arriving. I was like, what is this crazy guy that he brought home with? Something that made my life a little bit easier is that most of the men knew him from the Six-Pack Shortcuts time.
Yes.
Like, okay, it's like not this crazy person without clothes that she just brought back from. So that made it a little bit easier.
There's a little bit of credibility that he was sane enough, but that was like the anchor, right? If they didn't see me before online, they'd be like, this guy's just completely nuts.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of credibility and sanity.
Everybody worried about me.
You know what? It's just a man in love. That's it. It's true. Men do crazy things, right? And women do crazy things when they fall in love. It's like you get your mind gets goes into hostage mode. Somebody like just takes over, something takes over, and you do the craziest things. You'll go to a different country. I don't know. I don't know. Tell me, Mike, what else did you do?
The next thing is even crazier. So we're there in Europe, right? I'm there living with her now. I'm sharing bedrooms with her. We're not alone. Her sister also lives there as well. So then when she brought me home, it's like she also had to tell her sister, hey, I met a guy on holiday and he's moving in, next week.
I love
So
it.
then if that wasn't enough, my visa is running out because I can only stay in Europe for 90 days. So then I told her, I was like, hey, well, I have to leave soon, come with me. Let's keep going, And she's like, well, what about my work and my friends here, my life here?
Yeah, I just did my master's and committed to stay for 5 years with the company
Oh,
because they paid for it.
oh,
I didn't even finish my master's.
oh my goodness.
yeah, and she's about to get promoted and run like this new division of the company, and I was like, just leave it. Just who cares? Just come. We'll start our own company.
And there comes Flow 60, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Were you into wellness as much as Mike had a whole career and livelihood and everything? Were you as much into wellness as well, or was it more of a I'm into wellness, but not necessarily my entire life, my career?
I don't know if I would call it wellness, but I grew up doing I was always moving. I was always in my body. I grew up in the mountains, in a ski resort. I would go ski, I would go mountain bike, I would go play all these sports. That was just like how I was. And yeah, I think I was like, I did yoga, but I didn't know why it feels good. I did all these things, but I didn't know why it feels good. And
Plan like a pro. Retreat like a boss. Become a retreat boss. Certified retreat planner enroll in our ICF accredited certification. Mastering Retreat certification equips you with everything you need to create transformational retreats that inspire, elevate, and generate revenue. Dream it, design it, deliver it. Enroll now and turn your passion into a profession at RetreatBoss.com.
yeah,
She was, when I first hugged her, I always remember that because when I hugged her, I can feel all this muscle. And my first remark was, whoa, you're muscular, like you work out. She's like, what? No, I don't work out. I go, bullshit. You work out. I felt all that muscle. She's like, no, I don't. And I go, you work out like crazy. I like, that's what I said. And she's like, no, I don't work out. And I go, I know people when they work out, like that's my life. You work out, you train. There's no way you can have all this muscle. And she's like, no, I don't work out. And then so I started digging in and finding out what she does. And I remember, I think you told me you work out at this gym twice a week, and that's it. And I'm like, no, not going to buy it. You're doing other things. There's no way you can maintain this amount of tone and muscularity at like 2 days a week of working out. So then when we're back in Switzerland, I'm watching her lifestyle, things started to click, right? She rides a bike every day to work, and there's parts where she's uphill, she's cranking it, And she's also wearing a backpack with like stuff in it sometimes as she's also riding the bike. And she walks everywhere. And then when she goes grocery shopping, she puts all the groceries in her backpack, puts it on, and then walks. And that's like normal, She doesn't even own a car, so there's never sitting there driving. And I see that, and I'm like, you're always training. Now I see why you're so muscular, I mean, it wasn't like jacked, but like solid, And I love that because I work out and I love people who are fit. But when it came to like spirituality, transformational work, it was just not her world at all. Her world, like she mentioned, she does like 1 or 2 yoga classes once in a while. And for me, it's like, how do I shift consciousness? I'll find ways to shift my consciousness and then switch back. And I start to understanding if you think about a certain thought, think about a scenario, enter into it, you will enter into that, and then your consciousness will evolve. And then if you do it long enough, you'll maintain that consciousness for a little while, and literally reality changes. I'm practicing learning how to shift realities all the time. That's what I did. I wasn't working anymore. My work was that. And I did that every day for years and years. And so that for her was like, we're just so opposites.
Yeah. When we met, it was a big gap of what we are interested in.
I don't drink, I don't party. I'm just interested in training and development, and and she had a social life. I didn't. I didn't care. So it was like totally different worlds. But
to the extent that my friends were asking, if you go out and he doesn't drink alcohol, what are you guys doing? Yeah.
He's drinking water. He's drinking water. It looks like vodka in a martini glass or something. I don't know.
He's great. He doesn't need to drink to be. Yeah.
And it was fine. It was totally fine.
And how's that gap now? Is it closer?
Smaller.
Yeah.
We care about similar things. We think about similar.
We party like crazy. Vodka now. She at some point she's, hey, maybe if you're not drinking, I don't really feel like drinking either. And
started traveling after I left my job and everything in Switzerland. We started traveling and it was just the two of us. Like, why would it? It's not fun to drink alone, right?
Exactly.
So stripped away one thing after the other. It was just felt natural.
No more smoking, even though she rolls one of the meanest joints. I was always so impressed. Just like a machine roll. Wow. I'm like, how do you do that? I remember one day I was just sitting there watching. How do you make it so tight and so, and so it's like it feels like so long ago. I mean,
feels like we were so young.
Yeah. And now it's like we have fun. We have fun, but we have fun in other ways. We go and play paddle together. We go on have interesting explorations of places and
hot and cold baths together.
Yeah, just different. Drink
tea
and talk about things.
So what's it like working together now? Now that it's been a few years, you've been working together. What advice would you give to anybody really who's really has made a career out of their wellness? Now they're with somebody and they want to do something together as a couple, because it's a lifestyle, right? You can't have two extremes on that. So what advice would you give a couple going forward into doing business together and growing together in that capacity? What are the do's and don'ts?
You start?
Yeah. The first thing, and we touched about it before, it's learn how to not take things personally.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in work, it's not about who is right, or it's just like, sometimes, okay, this is the 50. We introduced something that we call 50-50.
Okay.
And, sometimes you have discussions about, I think this is right, and he thinks, no, it's for sure this. And we learned over the years that most of the time, 50% of the time he is right, and 50% I'm right. So if we can't figure out, like if I am on this side and he's on this side, we let it go, we say 50-50, and the person who feels more strongly about going in that way, we let that person take it into that way. I want in my way, if I feel this is really important to Mike to just go this direction, but I still feel like it's not going to work out that way, or it might not work out that way, but he really feels strongly about it and it's how he wants to do it, I just run with it. And he does the same thing for me. And I think that avoids fighting about who is right. And it also, and then important, of course, is also when there is an outcome, you don't say, see, I was right.
You bite your tongue and you walk away.
50-50. Because it's happened a lot. It happened enough to where we realize there's always a chance, no matter how certain that we are of something, that we're wrong. There's always a chance. And I think we have consciously become aware of that in our own decisions, that this 50-50 concept is really real for us. It's very accurate, because I can't think about the amount of times where I thought I was so right, and then at the end something happens and it was exactly, we should have went with her decision, and I go, yeah, you're right, and vice versa. And it happens so much to where it's like, okay, we don't know when it's going to happen at the moment of, we don't know the future, but what we do know is that there's always that possibility, and we're okay with it. Like what Natalia said, we're okay with it because it's not about trying to be right. It's about, part of it is making the best decision overall because we run a company together, while the other one is also respecting each other and letting each other go with what that person feels really strongly in. Because like when Natalia mentioned, sometimes she feels really strongly in something and I don't see it that way. And she's trying to explain it, and sometimes she explains it, but I still don't see it. And at some point, it's like, I think in my mind, what's more important? Doing it my way in that moment, which deep inside, I know this is the right way and we're going to move forward. What's more important? That, therefore, the company moving forward, and let's say that, or doing it her way, and she will respect the fact that I listen to her and let her do it that way. But also, and let me rephrase that.
It sounds like you were right in the beginning, and
So sometimes there's that.
there is that 50-50.
That's here's another way of explaining it. It's more of a bigger point of what I want to make. Even if I was right? Like even if it was going to be that way, you know what's more important than saving 2 months of time? Because we do things, we had to back up, or we spend some money. What's more important than that is our relationship. Because yeah, maybe we can win at a couple moves here, and then the cost of it is my wife, my life partner, not business, life partner. What's more worth it? You can't win at everything. Every life is all about sacrifice, right? You have kids, sorry, you may not sleep that much. It's just a sacrifice thing. It's not a good or bad, just what it is. Which one's more important? Technically, you can just have someone else raise your kids so you can get sleep. But what's more important? Somebody will go, I'll sacrifice some sleep for some years because it's important for me to be there for my child. So then when I look at business, same thing. There might be a chance that we go down a path, and even if it wasn't the best, even if, right? That's not saying, but the way I look at it, what makes me, my value, my priority, my wife's, our relationship is that important. And when it comes to deciding on things, it's not just about winning at business. It's also winning at relationships.
But also taking into account that you may not even be right.
And then there's also, might not even be right. And then when you have those two things, it's go that way, And
I think another really important thing when you do business together is to spend time as a couple. It doesn't need to be long. It can be like just spend 10 minutes, just hug for 1 minute, just have these small moments, find out what is important for the other person. Let's say it might feel really good if I come and I just hug him for a moment. Or I really appreciate if he sits with me for 10 minutes and I can just share something. And having that playfulness, that connection between each other, it is so different when you work together. Like the tone is softer, it's more playful, more creative, more fun. So I think.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people talk about you need to, we have times we're working, there's times we don't talk about work at all. That's like this picture perfect reality. Yes, if everything is going perfect, if there's no issues, if we got things on autopilot or things are great, maybe in like 5 years from now. But right now, things are not great. And there's a lot of questions, a lot of things to figure out. And we don't even have enough time to sit and properly discuss all the things that are needed. So what that means is the personal time and the business time blends together. And there is not really personal business. It's like we talk about personal thing. And hey, also let's talk about that one meeting and what we need to decide on this. And also what I was thinking for the next offer is that we should do just like there is no, hey, let's sit down and have a time to talk about business. There is not that. If we can just steal some time, great, before the kids come barging in. So what Natalia is saying about like, so therefore, like, having that few minutes or 10 minutes, like I used to be much, much better at it. I'm not as good at it now as before, but I'm coming back doing that, which is every day I used to give Natalia massages because for me, it was an excuse to go and get physical with her. So just to be very honest, I love touching her. And it's just like, instead of just every day, just like, hey, just constantly rubbing and it's okay. Yeah, I'm having a great time, but what is she gaining from it? You know what she likes? She likes massages. Well, I get to touch her and she likes it because I'm not just groping, right? It's like, just like, can you stop squeezing my butt all the time? If you want to squeeze it, why don't you squeeze it properly so I can actually get a butt massage? You're going to go and grab my breast. Why don't you go and massage it? Why don't you just grope her? And I would massage her and she liked it. And then I liked it, right? So, and I would do that every day. I look forward to it, And so, and we had so much time spent doing that. And I really enjoyed it. With the kids now, we have it less, but lately we've been carving out time, sometimes just like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and just get together and just physically be with each other, even if it's for a short period of time. Sometimes we literally have to set an alarm because it's 12:45 or 1 a.m. and the kids will wake her up sometimes at like 6:30, 7, who knows? They'll just wake up, don't want to go to bed. And then she has to be up. And so we'll just set an alarm and say, okay, got this little bit of time, but just whatever it takes to get it in, whatever it takes to make it happen. Because the truth is, life is not perfect. There is no box and structure with rules that everything is following. Life evolves, and we learned how to be at flow with things and do our best to keep all the balls in the air so that our relationship, our business, and family is intact and is being supported. And we find a way to kind of fuse it together the best we can. And I'm always in my mind always looking for ways to do that. Like when we're making content, I'm always asking this question: how can I have the family and have the kids in the content? Because the way I see it is, if the kids can be part of the business, part of the content and the front end and social media, then I would always need to spend time with the family. And we would always need to go and figure out what interesting places we need to go, because that contribute towards the business, that contribute towards giving people value, right? That whatever we're capturing, whatever it is supports people, it helps people. So then, oh, wow, we need to work really hard, family trip, let's plan this, let's plan that. And then great. So in other words, you're saying that the more time you spend with your kids, the more time you spend with your wife, the more value you're giving to people and the better your business is being built. Is that what you're saying? Yes, I want to crack that. And then, so with my mom, it's like, okay, mom, I'm going to train you, but just so you know, we're going to share it. And so you're telling me the more that you train your mom and then it's captured, the more people are helped. Like I think things in that way. So I keep asking that question, and whatever question we're asking, we're going to get an answer. It just, sometimes it takes time to figure things out. But that's always been in my mind. And I find ways to incorporate some of it. And I'm still moving forward to see how I can do it more and more, because that's what I really want. That's my vision. I've seen channels that do that, right? And you've seen them as well, right? And we'll love it. So that's my vision. So this way, everything can come together. And even though it looks like this chaos, we're living life, doing all this stuff, but it works. Right? It works, and we want the business to thrive. We want to be able to give all this value to people and help people. And we want our relationship and the family unit to be really strong as well. And it's a lot to ask for, but there's a way to set it up so that it can thrive. And I think all it takes is people who have figured it out that we've seen and just kind of copying that model, and it would work.
The Kardashians built an entire empire, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it was just like, it was just Kim, right? It's like, no, you need everybody. And I've actually never watched it, but I know of it. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Is there in social media, because I'm glad you went into the social media aspect of it, because that was going to be my next question. Is there anything where there's a full stop, we cannot show this? Is there any time where you're arguing with each other, or there's no, we cannot go there. We're not going there with that. This is not something I want to show the world. Is there ever friction about that?
I remember one time it was like a bird video, and we definitely wanted to show the bird because I had a natural bird and it was beautiful. We had it at home. It was very peaceful, and it was with both children, and I really felt like people need to know about alternative ways of birth and what's possible for them and how it can feel when you're in an environment where you feel good. And he was editing this one video, and there was like just a few clips that felt too personal for me. I think the video that he shared is still personal, but it was more like, okay, these kind of clips are maybe too much.
She's having a baby. I'm setting up cameras.
Yeah. Or then, oh no, this doesn't look good. More like that. But I got really chill about it because he just films everything, and it's like, I can't even control what's going up there. But to just seeing myself how it actually is.
You know what? It looks like you're both having fun with it. So that's what's most important, right? In the end, you're both having fun with it. As long as it doesn't become boring and work and all of that, and you keep having fun with it, everything works out. That's how I see it.
I think we just share what is instead of trying to create content. Of course, there is content creation, but there is also just share what actually happens. If you do that, you have to be okay if your butt looks a bit bigger.
There's something to say about angles, right? Wrong camera angle completely distorts everything.
I remember she told me, because I used to take videos from a down angle up, and she would go, never take pictures from up. And I go, why not? Looks good. No.
It's for you because you look bigger. But for me, if I look bigger, what the?
I've heard it so much. And finally, I'm like, okay, I just don't. Not because I think you don't like it.
Haven't you seen those videos where there's a girl and she has the camera's underneath, and you look at and you're like, oh my God. And then all of a sudden she raises it up to this angle and you're like, oh, she's beautiful. It's completely distorted. It's hilarious. So let's get to the end of my favorite part, where I'm going to ask you a couple of questions real quick. You're going to point at yourself or at each other as to who's what. Okay. So who's the most stubborn? Do you agree? You're not pointing at me. You have to point too. Is it you?
You need to point right
Oh,
away.
I need to point too. Okay. All right, fine. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Who apologizes first? Who turns something simple into a deep life learning lesson? Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
Who spends more money? Who's the crier? Who watches the kids most? Okay, that's it.
Okay, 100%.
Yeah, that was pretty spot on.
Yeah.
I think we were pretty accurate in that.
I just want to thank you both so much for being here today. It was fun listening to you and hearing your story. You're an incredible couple, a fun couple, a very loving couple. And I just look forward to seeing more of you. What's going on now? What's coming up for you that you want to maybe just tell the world, this is our vision going forward, and maybe they could follow that journey with you?
Well, for us, this year is like a year of the horse, and it's like building and coming out. And we have a couple of things that we're really working on. We haven't even announced it. It's not even announced on the public. I've been talking to a business coach who's asked me to go and write a book, and we're going to be working on a book together, and he's going to be helping me with that. And so I'm really excited on that. I have no idea what the title, and I don't really even know exactly what it's going to be about. I have an idea, but that's going to be announced at some point. So I'm going to announce on social. Maybe right now when it comes out, maybe it is, maybe it's not, but that's on the hush. But another thing that we're really excited about is we're changing up a couple of things and adding into the programs that we're doing. And we decided we do these 60-day programs online where people join in cohort style. We start at the same time and at the same time, and we take them step by step to help them be able to let go of the worries and the fears and the stress and be able to relax their nervous system, get present, get stillness in their mind. And we're really excited about that. And we've been spending a lot of time curating how the experiences are going to be, the level of support with all of our instructors, all this stuff. So that we're really excited about because we've ran this program for about 4 years already. Mm-hmm. And many people went through it. And it's just been really great to hear all the transformations and the experiences. And now this year, we are adding a few things to it and leveling it up even more. And we're really excited to share that with people.
And we want to certify people as well. We want to have the training system represented in more places around the world in person, so people can experience it in person and really.
Yeah, we took 1 year off for certification to go and revamp things, get things ready. And this year we're going to be getting certification back. And there's a lot of people that are just been asking us, and we're like, we're not doing it yet, but just be on this list. And this way we can support people to learn this training system. So this way for people that are interested in business or relationships, and they're able to actually have a healthy relationship because they're aligned on the inside. They don't have to prove themselves to themselves. They're not dealing with all these things. And then they get to support other people. So we're really excited about that. That's going to be launching this year for sure.
Oh, fantastic. That does sound exciting. And why not spread that knowledge to the world and go travel and do it at the same time, right? With your children and whoever else you're going to bring along. I don't know. That's fantastic. I wish you so many more blessings. I think you've received many so far, and I think it's just going to continue for you. It's been truly a pleasure interviewing you. I don't think I've smiled through an entire podcast. I think this is the first time. I literally had a smile from beginning to end. So I thank you for that because it brought me a lot of joy. I appreciate you both.
Thank you, Catherine. You have a beautiful smile.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Want to learn more on expanding your business with retreats? Visit RetreatBoss.com. Be sure to leave a rating and subscribe to the show at RetreatBoss.com/podcast. Until next time, take care.